Hey guys, Zizak here, back with a very weird setup. Let me preface this video before I get into this. And I'm about to talk for a long time, so if you don't care about anything I have to say and you want to see what's inside the box, click on the timestamp that you see at the bottom down there, and it'll take you right to me opening the box. It's been a while since I posted because I have been moving. I've just moved into my own place by myself. It's a little studio apartment. The entire apartment is a disaster right now, so I don't have my regular review station set up right now, and this box is gigantic, so I'm just in the floor in front of my TV. It's not even set up yet, so I apologize for my knees and my feet you might see, and you're going to see half of my body, so I apologize in advance, but that's why it's taken so long to get some new videos out, and there is more videos coming soon, too. But now, a little story about this. So, I'm sure pretty much all of you have heard of Warhammer before. Warhammer 40,000 is the most popular version of Warhammer. That's the space, sci-fi, space marines, chaos demons, all that stuff. It's been around since, I guess, the 80s, maybe even before that. Before they had the space one, they had Warhammer Fantasy, is what it was called, where it's actually what Warhammer 40,000 was based on. It was fantasy in space. And the fantasy version was very much the elves and the orcs and the goblins and the dwarves and the wizards and very, very Tolkien, Lord of the Rings-esque. Well, I think 3 years ago, maybe it was 4 years at this point, they literally blew up the old setting. In the storyline, the old Warhammer Fantasy world exploded. And I'm not going to go into detail at all about the storyline, but a god from there named Sigmar was the only one that actually survived, really, on the molten core of the old world, and he made this new world. He found a new world and made all kinds of crazy stuff. Now it's called the Age of Sigmar for their fantasy stuff, basically. That is the horrible, super quick TLDR version of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. As for why I even have this, because you've never heard me talk about Warhammer, I don't think. If you guys remember PlayFusion, our friends that made Lightseekers, the card game, the toys and all that, they've started to branch out and do more things now. And they're based in the UK, and Warhammer is also based in the UK, and very, very popular in the UK. So PlayFusion actually got the rights to make the Age of Sigmar trading card game. They announced that months ago, and when I first learned about that, I was like, okay, I love Lightseekers, I love PlayFusion, I need to get caught up on this Age of Sigmar thing so I can get caught up when the cards come out. Well, stupid me in doing that. I never got into Age of Sigmar because I knew it would happen. I dove headfirst into everything Warhammer. I've read a lot of the books. I have some miniatures. I have the little $30 set when it first came out, with some miniatures in there. I've been painting, I've been building, I've been reading all the lore, I've been on the websites every day reading the previews, and I'm way too far down the rabbit hole for Warhammer now, so now I have to actually start playing. So it is PlayFusion's fault. I just want you guys to know that if you're watching this. So, all of that explaining what this is, this is the Soul Wars boxed set. Now, if you've heard of Warhammer 40k, you've probably heard of the different editions there are. Kind of like how D&D every once in a while will reboot with a new edition and change some stuff. When Age of Sigmar came out, it was a completely different game than the Warhammer Fantasy. And so there wasn't like an edition of fantasy. It was its own whole new thing. When the game first came out, the rules were literally 4 pages long. And that's not an exaggeration or some kind of approximation. Literally, the rules were 4 pages. And that was actually a selling point for the game. If you've ever tried to play Warhammer 40,000, you need books, plural, to play that game. As well as hundreds of models to even start to play that game. So, when, news got out that it was a new fantasy game, rules were 4 pages, super, I wouldn't say laxed gameplay, but there's not a bunch of nitty, scorekeeping and how many sorcerer points does that guy have and how many wounds does that guy have before he becomes enraged and how many centimeters am I away from this guy to get that buff. Some of that's still in the game, but it's way scaled back. So actually, when the game came out, it was pretty 50-50 on people liking it. A lot of people were mad that they killed the fantasy line and they literally blew up the old world. A lot of people were mad that the rules were dumbed down so much and it wasn't nearly as strategical and tactical as it was before. There wasn't a lot of customization you can do with your units. But the other half saw all that as a plus, and they could actually get into it now and start playing instead of having to buy hundreds of models and go find these old books and all that stuff. So then eventually, and in the beginning, there was no like point costs for your armies that you build. You've probably heard that term before. Different units cost points. You have so many points to build an army to bring to the table to fight someone else doing the same thing. When the game first came out, that wasn't even an idea. There was no points for anything. It was you bring whatever you want and play with it. Like the main thing was to have fun with your cool army that you painted and built. And that was more like 70-30 on the 70 hating it and 30 liking it kind of place. Because a lot of people like the points because that means it makes it a balanced game and it's fair for both players and not just a curb stomp to one person. So then they made this thing called the Generals Handbook, which is it's a book that comes out once a year that has points costs for every model in the game, every single model, even the old models. And with that book, they added a bunch of new rules on how to make the game more standard, I guess. Like you measure from base to base as an optional house rule. A lot of the rules were clarified. There was a lot of FAQs, and they just basically made it a much more of a game than throw your models on the table and play like the first edition was. So bringing all of that to this is actually the second edition of Age of Sigmar. It starts with this box and what's inside this box. I've been following all the news on this. I've been listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, reading articles. I have not seen a single person say that the second edition is not anything but perfect compared to first edition. Everything they changed is for the better. They basically took the game, which was great, and quadrupled it and made it amazing. And a lot of people from the videos I watch on YouTube are saying it's basically the perfect game now. And again, that brings us to this. This is the box set. It's kind of like a start here box, but they don't really call it that. It has two almost armies in it. It's not full armies, but it has definitely enough for two people to play and figure out what they want to do. It's also really hard to kind of tell you guys how giant this box is. Like, I do have tiny girl hands, but I'm trying to look on the screen, like it looks way bigger. It looks way smaller on the camera than it is in person. Like, this is a huge, huge box. So you got the awesome picture on the front there with a Stormcast Eternal. If any of you guys know about Warhammer 40k, these are basically the Space Marines. And you can see some awesome kind of faded artwork behind them. Nothing really on the sides, it's just the logo. And on the back, oh god. I don't know how well you could see that, but there's actually a picture of all the models that Games Workshop themselves have painted and put together and everything, and really awesome terrain pieces they've put together for this picture. But this is everything you get inside. There is technically 55 models in this. I said 55. Everything you see in that picture is in this box. There is 55 freaking miniatures in this box. This is insane. It says 52 because one of the pieces is technically 3 different pieces, so it's 55. You can see you can see some of the heroes up here. They're kind of like the main characters, if that makes sense. They actually have names. They're actually like a person, not just like Hammer Dude. You can see over here, venture into the war-torn realms. The mortal realms are the dominion of tyrants, monsters, and ghosts. Only the strong survive, but Sigmar's chosen may yet turn the tide. Sigmar's chosen is the Stormcast Eternals there. Basically one of the few good guys in the entire universe. This box contains the 320-page Age of Sigmar core book. There's a hardback book in here. We'll get into that. The 32-page Battle of Glim's Forge booklet. 16-page core rules book. Basically, the 4 pages turned into 16 pages. And it's really just a lot of clarification and pictures and diagrams. But that's something I should point out before I get into this. The rules for Age of Sigmar are completely 100% free. You can go online to their website right now and download them and play. And the craziest part, in addition to that, every model, every unit has their own little rules text called a war scroll. If you've played Warhammer 40k or know about it, it's like the data file. It's the thing that has all their abilities and stats on it, basically. Those are also all free. That's insane, especially for a Warhammer thing. That's the other thing that made me fall in love with this system. The rules are free, and all the rules to play with your models are free to download and look at, to have them in an app, all that stuff. Something like Warhammer 40k, you have to buy your specific army's book to figure out what your models can do. In Age of Sigmar, it's all free. You can actually go to the website, look at other models you're interested in, say, oh yeah, that can work with my army, and then buy it, so because you know it works with your army. So that's just another crazy thing I love about this game. But there's the rulebook in here, the 16-page one is the exact same one you can download online. It's just a nice to have in your hand kind of thing. The core book, something we'll get into later. You have an 8-page Start Here booklet. We'll look at that too. 13 War Scroll cards. Those are the War Scroll cards I was talking about, the stats and the abilities for all your units. 1 dice pack. The dice are awesome in this. And 1 range ruler. I'm not sure how to feel about that yet. I haven't actually felt it yet. Then we have the 52 Sedale Miniatures. I guess I'm going to read all of them. 1 Lord Arcanum on a Griff Charger. 1 Knight Incantor. 3 Evocators. 3 Castigators. Or 5 Castigators. 8 Sequitors. And 1 Celestar Ballista. I have not said these names aloud, ever. So I'm probably going to butcher all these names like I always do. So those are the Stormcast Eternals, the good guys, basically. And the bad guys, the Death Army. We have the Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed. That guy. 1 Lord Executioner. 1 Guardian of Souls. 1 Spirit Torment. 4 Grimghast Reapers. 5 Glaive Wraith Stalkers. And 20 Chain Rasps. All these guys. There's 20 Ghostmans in here. It's insane. Now I guess I'll read this little paragraph too, just to finish it off. The Age of Chaos has brought terror to all the lands, and the legions of undeath are on the rise. But those who seek to be free have been given another chance by the coming of the Stormcast Eternals. The opposing forces of light and darkness are represented in this box by the warriors of Gnosis, Heaven Sins, Sacrosanct Chamber, there we go, and the night haunts of the ghastly Malandrek, a knight of shrouds who seeks to steal away the souls of the living. This box also includes a full-color rulebook for the Age of Sigmar tabletop war game that casts you as the commander in an epic conflict. For 2 or more players, approximate playtime 90 minutes. Okay, let's get this thing open. I bought this 2 days ago, the day it came out. And I've been so busy moving that I haven't even had a place to put this down and open it, let alone start putting models together and painting. So I am very, very, very excited to get this open. Oh man, okay. Also, there's no way to convey this on camera, but this is a freaking heavy box, and you'll see why in a second. So it has a slip cover. So we'll get that off. Oh man, look at that. Oh, something on the inside. It would have been cool if there was a poster on the inside. You set that back there, and look at that. Look at how beautiful that art is. It's the art that was kind of in the background of that one, but God, it's gorgeous. They have a magazine that comes out every month, because magazines are still a thing in the UK. And I actually got the magazine a couple of weeks ago, and it has a giant poster of this, and I'm absolutely getting that framed, and it's going on my wall somewhere. Alright, so... Oh, this is a box. Okay. Yep. This is the models. So we're going to put this off to the side, and we're going to look at everything else first. Well, it got crushed over there, but it's okay. So this is the core book. Sorry, I don't have any lights set up. I just have the lights on the ceiling, so this is going to be bad. So we'll look at the core book in a second. Here is the Battle of Glim's Forge booklet. It's kind of got the storyline like up to this point, basically. And there's the War Scroll cards on the back. And then, what is this? Oh, it's just the bottom of the box, okay. And then we got some goodies underneath. Look at that art. It's so freaking cool. Here's the dice. Look at these dice. They're see-through. I thought they were light blue. They're actually dark blue, see-through, six-sided dice. Those are super nice. I love those. Oh yeah, I forgot this is in here. This is just the first chapter of the new book. The whole first chapter is just in here to read. They're really good about sprinkling stuff in to get you to buy more things. That's their whole life, basically. So you get a free chapter of a book, too. You get some, I believe these are water slide transfer decals for your Stormcast Eternals. A lot of them have, like, lightning bolts on their shoulders, so you can transfer those over. I got some more of these somewhere, too, but it's good to have more. And then here is the range ruler. If I can grab it. That's actually thicker than I thought it would be. It's just plastic. But oh, it does have cool, actually, I don't know if it'll come up on camera at all, but it actually has like little sun designs in the plastic. This is nothing crazy. It's just a 12-inch ruler, and it's floppy. But if you don't use measuring tape, you can just plop that in a table to use to move your miniatures. It's nice that it's in there. I like it. I'll use it. And then we have the Next Steps little pamphlet in there. What is that? English. That's Spanish, German. I see Japanese and Chinese. And Italian, maybe? And French? Maybe that's what those all are? I don't know. Sorry, it's hard to tell on there, but it has a... It's saying to get the core rulebook, which if you're getting this, you already have that. Battle tomes are an additional thing you can get. Kind of like how we said in 40k, how you used to have to buy the book to know what your units did. That's kind of what the battle tomes are for Age of Sigmar, but they just add more things to your units. So it lets you use more spells and stuff like that. There's also some, it says to buy some terrain. Then it has some of the push fit kits that you can buy. So that's neat. Okay, I'm going to set this back in here for right now. And I get this book opened up. Okay, so here's the core book. It is gigantic, hardback, beautiful book. And here's the crazy thing. Well, it's got a little dict on the bottom. This is $60 by itself. And again, it's not required to play the game. It just adds a bunch of stuff to your game, like additional stuff. And it has, I'm pretty sure they said half of the book is just lore for the worlds and all that. This is $60. But I'm not going to show this entire book to you, but I'm just going to crack it open so you can see every page has freaking beautiful artwork. There's maps, there's so much story. I mean, look at that. Hang on a second. Look at that. It's so cool. And I think this has a bookmark? It's even got a bookmark. Look at this. How much more fancy could you get? It's got a gold bookmark. That's so cool. I may have gotten this whole thing just to get this, because I'm going to be reading this for weeks. I'm going to be poring over every page of this. I cannot wait to get into this. Okay, so that's the book. Let's see what's in this Glim's Forge book. Okay, so there's actually a couple of things in this packet. Wow, a lot more things than I thought. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. This is the Battle of Glim's Forge. What is this? This looks like... Yeah, it just looks like a bunch of lore over the actual armies in this box. The book is everything. This is basically just the stuff in this box. So it's your Death armies, it's your Order army, it's your Sink or Sake Chamber Stormcasts. It's all the lore behind them, and actually, apparently it's the actual backstories for the characters in this too. So that's really cool. I love that. And then I believe, yeah, each unit has their own full backstory on something about them. And I think it has, there's just pictures of all of the units in the box, all the different models. And all the death guys. I thought this had I don't think it has like any like battle plans or like missions to play, basically. There we go. So it actually has the point values for just for these armies if you wanted to play points wise. So it's cool that it actually has the points in this book. Nice. Okay. So there's that. It would have been nice if they had like actually some kind of scenarios to play through, because I know in the first big box set they did, it was Stormcast versus Khorne, which are the bad Chaos guys. They actually had like 5 or 6 different like little scenarios to go through, and like each scenario you used the different units, and so it kind of like got you used to your different units, and you slowly got more and more. And then the last scenario is you would play with your full army against your opponent's full army. So it would have been cool if they did that in this one too, because I liked that about the first set, but I never got it. I knew about it. But the second edition is so much better rules-wise that you don't really need the introductory things like that. Alright, then we have the core rules. These are the 16 pages, like I said. These are free. You can download. You can go download this exact same thing on the website right now for free and see everything you need to know how to play. And there's even a battle plan in here. Yeah, there's one battle plan to get you started. Basically, to play a game, you're playing a battle plan, like a scenario. It's not just kill your opponent's entire army. There's a scenario you do each time you play. So that's cool. Start here. I have no idea what's in this one, so let's see. So it's basically giving the rundown on what Age of Sigmar is. You collect them, you build them, you paint them, and then you play. Tells you about the core book. Gives you the breakdown on the lore so far. Tells you about Stormcast and Legions of Death. Mr. Nagash, he's the big death guy. Tells you how to start playing and about the battle plans. Okay, that's neat, I guess. Not really needed. And then we have the instructions for all of the models in this box, which there is so many. But the cool thing about these is right there. No glue required. So there's basically 2 different kinds of models. There's the regular models that have been around for not hundreds of years, decades, I should say, where you have to glue all the pieces together, like glue the head on, glue the arm on, glue them to their base. Everything is glued together. And they did that so you can customize them. Like if you want this dude's head, you can just take that guy's head and put it on there, stuff like that. And then there are the push-fit models, or the easy-to-build models, which is what this entire box is. If any of you have ever built Gundam before, how you just clip them off and snap them together, that's basically what these are. You just cut all the pieces off, push them together, and you don't need glue, and they're done. Of course, you can always glue them if you want to make sure they never come apart, which is what I'm going to do, because I'm terrible about dropping them. You could do that, just a little drop of glue on each piece, but you absolutely don't need to, and that's the crazy thing about this. There's the big guy. I actually get to build him first. I'm excited about that. Because the only things I've built are little guys like this. Little tiny guys. I haven't built a cool, giant bird dog horse before, so I'm excited about that. And then there's some paint guides on the back for your main guys. Of course, again, you don't need to have, what is that, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. You don't have to have 24 different paints to make them look good. This is just how they made it in these pictures look so good. Because mine is definitely not going to look like that, or any of this. And then here's the War Scroll cards. You got one for all the Stormcasts. So it actually has their picture on the front. So that's the Knight Incantor. And on the back it has all the rules and how to play this specific guy. So that's kind of what I was saying before. That's the cool thing about Age of Sigmar. The rules are very, very simple and bare bones. But all the crazy rules come from the units you bring to the table. So basically, every unit you add, it adds more rules to the game, but you get to pick what you add to the game, basically. It's super cool, I love it. Their stats are up there, a little description about them, the picture of the model, and then all their abilities they can do, as well as their attacks. So the Knight and Cantor, I think it's Evocators, that's how you say it. I don't think it's Evocators. It might be. And then, once again, I think it's Sequitors, I think. Castigators, I know that one. They have the crossbows. The Celestar Ballista, that's a new thing that people are really excited about. The big giant gun, basically, that shoots either rapid fire or one giant shot. And then the Lord Arcanum, the big guy, he has his own little 2-card, because he has so much stuff to worry about. So that's super cool. So, again, unlike Warhammer 40,000, so you have all your stuff in a book, and you have to flip through the book every time you need to reference something. You just put these all on the table, and you know what everything does. It's just so much better. Can't wait to start playing this. Alright, and then the Death Army. There's the Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed. He's the big guy. Guardian of Souls. The Lord Executioner. He looks terrifying. The Spirit Torment. It's got the shackles. Grimghast Reapers. They are also scary. These guys are terrifying, though. The Glaive Wraith Stalkers. You can see they have, like, horse faces. I think their lore was, like, they were hunters that would, like, you know, ride horseback to hunt things. And basically everyone in the Death Army did something terrible in life, so whatever they did, they've been twisted into that as a Death Army person, basically. So they're actually fused with their horses. That's why they have horse faces. It's horrible. And then the Chain Rasp Horde, all 20 of those guys are on this one little card. See, the main reason I didn't first get into Age of Sigmar is because that first giant box set, which is just like this, it's a giant box set. I think it's around 50 models, or maybe it's like 30 or 40 in that one, was because I love the Stormcast Eternals. I love their whole design and their appearance and their stories and their entire history. I love all that. Giant gold demigod dudes that beat face. But I really don't like Chaos, which is the other army that was in that first box. They're all like cannibals. Like one of the guys holding a decapitated head. They eat people. They drink blood. It's like the very 80s death metal stuff, you know. That's all cool and all. That's not what I want to be playing. I want to be playing the cool giant golden army superhuman dudes. So I didn't want to spend all that money on the first box set and then have all these weirdo cannibal freaks that I don't want to play with. So that's why I was really excited about this, because the Death Army, not only are these guys super easy to paint, because you can just paint them all one color and say they're ghosts and be done, but the Death Army is actually cool. Like, again, I like these guys more, obviously, but I'm not super into skeletons and death and all that stuff, but I like them better than cannibal freaks. So let's get this open. How do we open this? Oh, just opens like that. Look at that. Look how cool that is. Oh my god. Look at all this. Oh no. What have I got myself into? Some bubble wrap in there to keep it all safe. I think that's most of the bases they go on, and they either have pegs or they're slotted, so you don't have to glue them, like I said. Oh, look at all this. Oh, man. Okay. Again, I apologize that I don't have any lights set up or anything, but it's hard to see any of this, but good God, these are gorgeous. God, they have so much detail. It always blows my mind how much detail these have. Like, that dude's face is, like, I was gonna say smaller than my fingernail, but it's, like, way smaller. That's, like, God, like a thumbtack, maybe. And it has complete detail on the eye holes and the teeth and the nose. It's so crazy, and all the chains are on here. Oh, it's so cool. So there's the death guys. Where am I gonna put all of this? There's part of the horse there, and the shackles guy with the keys. Oh, and all these guys actually have stuff on their bases. Like a lot of the models that people do themselves, they add stuff to the bases, like little grass tufts and the sand and all that. That's usually something you add extra. That's like up to you. That's your that's your spot to go crazy basically and add whatever you want. But the cool thing is with these push fit ones, a lot of them already have stuff on the bases, like skulls or like in the case of these guys, they have like pieces of graveyard fence and stuff like that. So you just have to paint those. You don't have to do anything with the base. That's so cool. There's more ghosts. There is the Lord Arcanum. There's his giant Griffhound, and there's the back of him and the front of him. With his big staff and his sword. That's actually really sharp. Why did I do that? That's really sharp. Okay. That's really cool. And then we got some of the other Stormcast over here with their shields and all that. And their hammers. God, so cool. It's like the same thing on that. And then this must... Yep, these are all of the chain rasps, that group of 20. Oh no, these are actually the heroes. This Lord Executioner with his little hangman noose thing. And all the scythes. Those are actually legitimately sharp. Yeah, and the creepy horse-faced dudes. And then these are the rest of the Stormcasts, it looks like. These guys, these are like the wizards of the Stormcast, basically, so they have robes and all that. It's going to be really fun to paint. There's the Ballista right there. And then we have the other bases that didn't fit in the bag, I guess, for the big guys. And then one tiny one. Wow. All of that in this box is ridiculous. Okay, let me put all this away and I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, it took about as long as I thought it would. If you're still watching and you've stuck around this long, thank you. I have no idea why, but I appreciate it. I'm gonna have a lot of fun putting all this together and painting it. I have a lot of time, obviously. I'm by myself in this apartment now. So that means more videos are coming, because I'm actually gonna have my own internet now and all kinds of good stuff, so more videos are coming. I probably won't do a gameplay video of this just because it's so huge. Like, you need a 6-foot by 4-foot table, I think, to even play this. There's 1,000 other people on YouTube that do it way better than me anyways. Go check out Mini Wargaming is my favorite that actually do the gameplay. They do the videos the best, I think. Warhammer has their own YouTube. They have painting tutorials for everything in here. Full tutorials on how to paint everything and play and all that. If you want to know more about the lore, go check out Katetsu. I've been watching him for a long time. He does great videos on new stuff and lore and all that. Also, 2+ Tough. He does all kinds of videos on the lore specifically. He's really good at it. I'll put all of them in the description if you want to go look. And yeah, I think that's it. I cannot feel my legs because I've been sitting like this for an hour now. I have a lot of stuff to go put together and glue and prime and paint. I have to read through that giant book. I'm going to love it. I'm just overwhelmed with all this right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see something specific from this, let me know. I'll make a video on it. I'll hopefully be able to put up videos a lot more frequently now that I'm done with the move and all that. But I thank you guys for waiting it out for me, I guess. Alright, I'm done here. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe, playlists, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.